The mystery surrounding Faith Fraser has haunted fans of Outlander for years. It began as one of the most heartbreaking moments in the series, something viewers accepted as a tragic chapter in the long and complicated love story of Jamie Fraser and Claire Fraser. Back in Season 2, the story seemed painfully clear. Claire suffered a devastating miscarriage in France, and the couple mourned the loss of their daughter, Faith. We watched Claire cradle the tiny body of her child, and later we saw Jamie and Claire standing beside a grave, saying goodbye to a life that never truly began. For years, that was the truth the story gave us. Then everything changed. By the end of Season 7, Outlander dropped a revelation so shocking that even longtime fans of the books didn't see it coming. Suddenly, the possibility emerged that Faith Fraser might not have died at all. Instead, she may have lived an entire life, one filled with hardship, survival, and tragedy, without her parents ever knowing. Season 8 finally begins peeling back the layers of this mystery, and the answers are both fascinating and devastating. The seeds of the Faith mystery were planted quietly toward the end of Season 7. Claire encountered a young girl named Fanny Pocock, whose mother had been named Faith. At first, the similarity seemed like nothing more than coincidence. After all, Faith wasn't exactly an uncommon name in the 18th century. But then something strange happened. Fanny began singing a song. It was the 20th-century lullaby, "I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside," a tune Claire had sung to her infant daughter decades earlier. Hearing that melody coming from the lips of a child who should have had no connection to Claire's life sent shockwaves through the story. And then came the most mysterious moment of all. The enigmatic Master Raymond appeared to Claire in a vision, surrounded by glowing blue wings. He apologized to her for something she would soon discover. The implication was clear. Claire's understanding of Faith's fate had been wrong all along. Season 8 begins with a dark revelation. Season 8 wastes no time diving into the mystery. In the premiere episode, Jamie and Claire arrange a secret meeting with a pirate and smuggler who may hold answers about the past of Fanny and her sister Jane. The setup is tense and uncomfortable. Jamie pretends to be interested in trafficking young girls in order to gain the pirate's trust. It's a grim strategy, but it works. Believing he's speaking to a fellow criminal, the man begins revealing the horrifying truth about how Jane and Fanny ended up in the brothel run by Mrs. Abbott. According to the pirate, the girls were taken after a violent attack at sea. Their father, Captain Pocock, was murdered during a takeover of the ship. His throat was slit in cold blood. In the chaos that followed, the pirate admitted to committing a horrific assault against Jane. But the most shocking part of the story involved their mother. The woman tried desperately to save her daughters. Her name was Faith. The tragic fate of Faith Pocock. In the pirate's story, Faith Pocock fought desperately to protect her children from the attackers. In the middle of the violent struggle, she attempted to intervene, putting herself directly in the path of the criminals threatening her daughters. The response was brutal. Faith was thrown overboard into the open sea. There was no rescue, no body recovered, just the endless ocean swallowing the life of a woman who had spent her final moments trying to save her children. The timeline suggests this happened somewhere around the early 1770s, roughly 5 to 8 years before the events currently unfolding in Season 8, which makes the tragedy even more painful. Jamie and Claire only discovered the possibility that Faith had survived infancy after she had already died as an adult. They spent decades believing their daughter never lived beyond her first moments. In reality, she may have lived an entire life. Jamie and Claire accept the truth. Interestingly, Jamie and Claire don't seem to require concrete proof that the pirate's story refers to their daughter. For them, the emotional pieces of the puzzle already fit together. Claire remembers her vision of Master Raymond. She remembers the lullaby that somehow traveled across generations. She remembers the strange feeling that fate was guiding her towards something unfinished. Jamie trusts her instincts. He has seen enough strange and impossible things during his life with Claire, including time travel itself, to understand that reality in their world doesn't always follow ordinary rules. Together, they come to a quiet conclusion. Faith Pocock was almost certainly their daughter, which means Fanny Pocock is their granddaughter. Why they keep the truth from Fanny. Despite believing they've found their long-lost family connection, Jamie and Claire make a surprising choice. They decide not to tell Fanny the truth, at least not yet. There are several reasons for this decision. First, they have no real proof they can present to the girl. The explanation would sound unbelievable, even in a world where strange things sometimes happen. Telling Fanny that her mother was a child thought to be stillborn decades earlier could easily cause confusion or emotional harm. Second, Fanny has already suffered more than enough trauma in her life. She has lost her parents. She has endured exploitation and abuse. What she needs now isn't a complicated explanation about mysterious ancestry. She needs stability. She needs love. So Jamie and Claire focus on building trust instead, offering the girl protection and kindness, without overwhelming her with secrets she may not yet be ready to hear. The biggest mystery: how did Faith survive? While Season 8 answers the question of what eventually happened to Faith Pocock, it leaves the most fascinating mystery unsolved. How did Faith survive in the first place? Back in Season 2 of Outlander, Claire was told that her baby had been stillborn. The grief was overwhelming. The medical staff at the hospital seemed certain that the child had died, yet something must have happened after that moment. Two possible explanations exist. Mother Hildegard theory. One possibility is that Mother Hildegard may have lied about the baby's death. Mother Hildegard was compassionate and protective toward Claire during her recovery. If the infant had shown even the slightest sign of life, she might have decided to secretly protect the child rather than deliver devastating news. However, this theory raises difficult questions. Why would she keep the baby hidden from Jamie and Claire? What circumstances would lead her to send the child away instead of returning her to her parents? While the theory is possible, it doesn't fully explain the strange supernatural hints surrounding the mystery. The Master Raymond theory. The second, and far more intriguing, possibility involves Master Raymond. Throughout Outlander, Raymond has been portrayed as a mysterious figure with abilities that go far beyond normal medicine. His healing powers appear almost magical, connected to a glowing blue aura that Claire herself seems capable of sensing. In Season 2, Raymond demonstrated the ability to heal serious injuries using methods that seemed impossible for the time. If anyone in the story could have revived a newborn child believed to be dead, it would be him. But even that explanation leaves many unanswered questions. Raymond was on the run from authorities during the events in France. It's unclear how he would have found the time or the opportunity to secretly revive Faith and arrange for her to be raised elsewhere. Yet his later apology to Claire strongly suggests he played some role in what happened. The mystery of the lullaby. Another clue continues to puzzle fans. How did Faith, or her daughter, learn Claire's lullaby? The song, "I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside," originates from the 20th century, long after the era in which Faith lived. That melody should have been completely unknown to people in 18th century Europe, and yet Fanny knew it. The simplest explanation is that Faith herself somehow learned the song as a baby. Perhaps Claire sang it to her more than she realized before the child was taken away. But the show hints at something deeper. Songs, memories, and emotions often travel through generations in strange ways in the world of Outlander. The connection between Claire and her descendants sometimes transcends logic. It's possible that the lullaby became part of Faith's memory in ways even she didn't understand. A story about lost time. At its heart, the Faith Fraser mystery is not just about supernatural twists or secret survival. It's about lost time. Jamie and Claire missed their daughter's entire life. They never saw her grow up. They never met the man she married. They never held their grandchildren. Instead, they spent decades believing Faith had died before she ever truly lived. Now they must face the painful truth that an entire chapter of their family history unfolded without them. The emotional weight of the revelation. What makes this storyline so powerful is how it blends hope with tragedy. On one hand, Faith survived. She grew up. She built a life and had children of her own. But on the other hand, her life ended violently, far away from the parents who would have loved her fiercely. Jamie and Claire can never reclaim those lost years. The only thing they can do now is protect the child Faith left behind. What might still be revealed? Season 8 has only just begun, and the Faith mystery may not be fully solved yet. Several important questions remain. Did Master Raymond truly revive Faith? Why was the child separated from her parents? Who raised her during her early years? And how did she eventually become the wife of Captain Pocock? These answers may, or may not, arrive before the series concludes. But even if the full truth never emerges, the emotional impact of the story is already clear. The legacy of Faith Fraser. Faith Fraser may have spent most of her life separated from Jamie and Claire, but her legacy still lives on. It lives in Fanny. It lives in the memories that refuse to fade. And it lives in the strange, almost magical thread that connects generations of the Fraser family across time. For Jamie and Claire, discovering the truth about Faith doesn't erase the pain of losing her, but it does give them something they never expected: a second chance to care for the family she left behind. And perhaps, in some small way, that chance is the closest thing to closure they will ever find.